try that. Yeah, that one's got to be working okay. And for desktop audio, excuse me, desktop audio. Okay, save those first. Desktop audio, we'll go through that as well. Okay, so that should be good. All right, we need to check with YouTube if we can actually see anything. So let's just bring this over here, and then I can start having a look. Go to my channel, go live. Oh yeah, it would appear that we are live. And I need to mute that so people can hear me over there. And yeah, that appears to be good. All right, so the reason why I came on here. Good morning, everybody on YouTube land. I hope you can hear me. I don't know, and I can never figure out how to get my chat on. I used to know this. It's just one of those things. We close schematics there. Right, I've got my chat on finally. Okay, so if you can hear me on X-Plane, what's a weird mark there? What the hell is that? Let's move that to there. Ah, it's gone. Ah, that's the problem. There we go. Kind of paused. All right, so the reason why I've come online this morning, a couple of reasons. First of all, good morning everybody in YouTube land. Shall we turn the camera on? I think we might, so you can see me. I gotta remember how to do this. Scene, display, video capture device. Why is nothing showing on it? Oh, there we go, that's better. Display, yeah, that's good. Okay, video capture device is locked for some reason. Why I've got it locked. There we are. Finally. Good morning, everybody. So I thought I'd come online because I saw something on my Facebook, not on my Facebook, on my one of my shorts that I did. Somebody was asking me about XPME, X-plane map enhancement, and I thought, oh, that's a good question, so we'll try and address that now. So what I'm going to do, I've loaded up at Corfu Airport, and I'm just going to take off here. Hopefully it says it's quite a while since I've flown my Cessna, so hopefully we're going to take off here. Just have a look at the scenery, because as I say, somebody asked me about X-plane map enhancement, and I thought the best way to do this is to take off, fly around, and also talk about it at the same time. Okay, here we go, 65 knots, and wherever we should be. It's not bad for a no-flap takeoff. Alright, beat off the pedals, and here we go. Now, I've no views connected here, but let's, once we're in stable flight, which I believe we are, come back to 2000 RPM. So, X-plane map enhancement is a package which is free, and I will put the link up on screen in a minute. Which you can get through the local website there. Okay. Now, I'm flying over Corfu for a very specific reason. It's the Corfu town, just coming over towards the harbour. And I use X-plane map enhancement. I hope you can hear me okay. Let's go inside. I use X-plane map enhancement as opposed to Ortho for XP. Ortho for XP was fantastic, no two ways about it, and absolutely brilliant. But, of course, it took up an awful lot of space. You know, you needed so much space, it was unbelievable. Right, I'm just going to increase my altitude slightly. I want to get up there a little bit quicker, so just click on that and we'll go up to, say, 2000 feet. Okay, thereabouts. and it took up tons of space, Auto for XP, but it was very, very good. There was a lot of time involved in actually downloading the maps, etc., and it would take you ages to do that. You know, you've got to download the map and then work with a program, which was often a bit finicky. And then there was another one came out called Auto, and that was almost an automatic process in so much as that it downloaded stuff for you, but you still had to do a little bit of work. And then X-Plane Map Enhancement came out, and X-Plane Map Enhancement is just, it's like the gold standard. It's incredible. I'm just going to adjust the volumes here so that when we do go outside we'll be able to hear. So let me go outside now. Right. Oops. Wrong key. That one. So this is X-Plane Map Enhancement. Yeah. And it's automatic. You just install the program. You download some base packages. Base packages are small. They're minuscule by comparison to Auto for XP or anything else. And you download the base packages, and then when you come online, it streams in the data, very much like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024. It streams in the photo scenery data, and so you get the images streamed to your desktop, but it only streams in a certain amount. So I think it's something like 10 miles ahead and 2 miles on either side. You can expand that if you wish, but what I have found is that there is no degradation in the scenery. I mean, it looks incredible. I lived in Corfu for 2 years, and this is absolutely really good. I mean, it looks fantastic. Corfu is covered in cypress trees and olive trees all over the place, unless you get down into the developed areas. Just down here, this is Dacia Bay. Yeah, where I'm heading the aircraft now. This is Dacia Bay, and I used to work here. I was a water ski instructor, and I worked there. And this big bay here to the left, on my left wing, this big bay, is Ipsos Bay. So I used to be a water ski instructor at this bay here, directly under the aircraft. And this bay over here was Ipsos Bay, and I used to DJ at a club called the Albatross. So all of this is very familiar to me. Now I'm going to pause the aircraft just for a moment, pause the sim, because I want to show you something. Now when I lived and worked in Corfu, my villa was, let's see, my villa was over here. Right, let me move forward a little bit. So I'm going to show you exactly where my villa was. When I say my villa, this is where I was living. Okay. And I'm going to put my left wing right over where my villa was located, or the tip of my left wing. I'm going to put right. Stop there. Right. So, oh, you can see my mouse on screen here. So here's the tip of my left wing. My villa was in this area here, probably under those trees now, right? And dead opposite was the driveway here to this location here at this headland, and this was Club Mediterranee. Now, Club Mediterranee was a holiday company. I don't know whether they still exist, and they were a holiday company for young people, should I say, 18 to 30s. It was known as 18. there was a holiday group called 18 to 30 as well, but this was Club Mediterranean, which was for 18-year-olds to 30-year-olds. And the things that used to go on here at Club Mediterranean was unbelievable. It's a bit like hedonism. And if you don't know what hedonism is, you need to go on YouTube and have a look. Anyway, so we're moving away from what I'm talking about, because what I'm talking about is X-Plane map enhancement photo series. Now, the question I had this morning was, what map do I use? Okay, because there are several. I'm going to show you these now if I can find XPME. Bear with me a second. I'm very technical here. Right, so this is XPME. Oh gosh, didn't mean for that to happen. Come on. Here we are. Why will it not stay on screen? There we are. This is XPME. I'm going to pause the sim. I think that's the easiest way to do this. Pause the sim. And then bring this up. Show this. Right. So this is XPME. Okay. X-Plane map enhancement. Now I've got the Pro version, which means I paid, I can't remember, $49 for the Pro version, which gives you a license, and that also allows you to look at more maps, okay, professional maps. And as you can see here, it says choose a map. Well, I'm using the Bing latest version. That's what I'm flying over. Bing's latest version. Now, some people say that the Bing maps are the best maps. There are lots of other ones in the Pro version. You've got China HD 22 Pro, China HD 2023, China HD 2024 Pro. You've got Mapbox Pro, Google Maps, and then you've got Bing latest version, ArcGIS Hybrid Map Pro, Custom Map 1 and Custom Map 2. Now, I think, and a Custom Map 3 Pro. Now, I'll be honest, I've found the best to fly over is Bing and ArcGIS. Is it ArcGIS or Arc? Sorry, ArcGIS, not R. I found those two to be the best to fly over. Google Maps is good, and some people say that they think that Google Maps are the best ones. I think, personally, oops, we can't do that. I think it's a matter of choice. It's entirely up to you what you use. And it's a matter of choice. What I will say is that I think the Bing maps are the best in terms of colour. Yeah? And when I say colour, sometimes you'll get odd tiles that are a different colour, they're a wrong colour. But you can't see any here over Corfu. There's none there at all. They're all much of a muchness. You know, when I say they look the same in terms of colorization. I just noticed this over here, this green belt here with virtually no trees in. That is actually the plains of Roca. Now, when I lived in Corfu, it's a very famous area. It's called the Plains of Roca, and it is exactly like that. It's just, there's no trees, and it's like a flat plain. They could have put the airport there. In there, it would have been great in there, but they put the airport up there. Well, let's have a fly over here, because it'd be interesting to go to. There's a place called Palio Kastritsa in Corfu, and it's claimed to be the most beautiful view in the Mediterranean. And I'm going to see if I can fly to it. I think Palio Kastritsa is over here. I have a feeling that that's it. Yes, it is. Because we used to go there from Ipsos. We used to take jeeps and drive through the mountains up here, all over here, and then we drive down to Palio Kastritsa. There's even an easier way, you just go straight. In fact, I'm going to take that way now. From Ipsos, you drive straight through here to this road. This road you can see going through here, and that takes you to Paleokastritsa. You would drive from Ipsos straight through this way and meet up with this road here. Or you want to be really clever. In fact, I can't find it. The road comes up here towards Dacia, and then you drive through as if you were going to Corfu town. Looks as though they've got some solar panels down there now. Wow, very modern. Yeah, so you can drive through here. You see this road, this ribbon, this road that goes through the plains of Europa. It's absolutely beautiful. And it takes you to Paleokastritsa. So we'll have a look and see how well represented that is. Bit of cloud ahead there. Might be a good idea to come down a little bit. We don't want to get involved with that cloud. For those of you who know your VFR rules, of course, you've got to be 3,000 feet from any cloud, laterally, vertically. You've got to see the ground all the time in VFR. Okay. There's also, apparently, there's a legend about Greece. The first island that you go to, the first place that you go to in Greece, is a place you fall in love with. And I would agree with that. I fell in love with Corfu. It's an absolutely wonderful place. Absolutely. So you can see how the maps are working here. Looking really good. The scenery looks fantastic out of the window there. And we're just coming to Paleokastritsa now. Let's get back outside. And I mean, this doesn't do it justice. I mean, it's looking really good, but it doesn't do it full justice. We come here at sunset and watch the sun sinking. The road, the road beneath me there is the road that you drive into Paleo, and it's very high, so it's all kind of cliff-based stuff. When you look down, it's absolutely stunningly beautiful. It's only got a tiny little beach though, but when you go there, it's absolutely stunning, gorgeous. You can hire boats and what have you. And I'm going to pause the sim here a moment. Tell you a bit of a story. So there's the beach of Paleokastritsa down there, and up here there's all like hotels, restaurants, and what have you. And you can hire boats, and if you get a boat from there and you go to right there under my wing, I'm going to move forward a little bit, I think. Right, so you get your boat here down at the bottom of the screen. You go in your little boat, a little motorboat. You come round here, and you come here. There's a nudist beach here. Yeah, and I spent a couple of days there. Not 2 days, one after the other. Quite a few days over the 2 years that I lived in Corfu. I spent quite a few days going to that beach. It's absolutely wonderful. Nobody cares what you look like, what size you are, who you are, where you're from, or anything like that. And it's just, if you've never been to a nudist beach, you should try it at least once in your life. It's absolutely, it is fascinating. Anyway, we continue on our tour of Greece, Corfu, looking at the maps. Absolutely fantastic. I'm losing a bit of height here, so I did that to avoid that cloud. Just throttle up a little bit. So, for something that's free, X-Plane Map Enhancement is very, very good. I'm not so sure whether it's on the org or whether it's a GitHub. We'll do a little bit of investigating in a moment and have a look. I'm just going north of Paleo District, so we're going up towards Sudari and Passiopi, which is up towards the north of the island. Absolutely beautiful. And for an island, I mean, it's not that big, really, Corfu, but it is so full of culture and beautiful sights, things to look at around here now. The highest mountain in Greece is behind us in Corfu, is over there, and it's called Mount Pontocrata. And at its very top is a monastery. I mean, look at this, absolutely stunning. Covered in cypress trees, olive trees, olive presses, and up in the mountains behind us over there, some small villages where you can just sit outside a cafe or a bar, have a Greek salad, sit there all day, spend 2 hours having lunch, 2 hours just having a Greek salad and some bread, and maybe a bottle of beer. Absolutely fabulous. One of the most stunning places on earth. I would go back there tomorrow. I really would. Go back there tomorrow. It's one of the few places in the world that I would go back to. I've travelled a lot. It's absolutely beautiful. My neighbour, she goes to Corfu every year, sometimes twice a year. She went when she was a teenager. She's now 70 years old, and she goes, like I say, once, twice a year to Corfu. And she goes to the same village down in the south of the island. Quiet little village, couple of bars, couple of tavernas. And yeah, she'll spend her 2 weeks reading books, eating good food, and why not? I mean, looking at the maps here, you can see these little places, these little farms and olive tree growers. And just in case you didn't know, if you've got olive trees on your property, you can't cut them down. You're not allowed to cut them down. And what happens is you have to wait for them to die before you can remove them. But they live like 500 years. Some of the oldest trees in the world. And they tend to spread as well. Their root system is really quite strange. So one tree, it's not just one olive tree, it might be 6 trees are connected together and they become one. It is really fascinating stuff. And the wood, it burns forever. Literally, you put it on a fire and it just keeps burning and burning. It just burns forever. It's amazing stuff. Right. I think we're at the very north end now, north coast of the island. And we're coming up to Passiopi. Yeah. The land that you can see across the water there with a bit of snow, that is Albania, which was once a fully communist country. They had a revolution, I think it was 1999, there was a revolution, and the ruling military party were overthrown. The banks were raided, there was money flowing in the streets, literally just paper money blowing around the streets, people collecting it in wheelbarrows and what have you, because it was worthless. It was literally completely and utterly worthless. And then the day after the revolution, when the ruling military junta was deposed, a new government was put in, a democratic government, a people's government. They issued a statement regarding the money in the country, because it was a very poor country. Like I say, it was communist run, and they issued a statement. They revalued their currency, and some people became millionaires overnight because they just picked up all the money in the street, wads of money, maybe as thick as these 2 books together, wads and wads of money they picked up, which was worthless, completely worthless. And then the next day, it was revalued, and they became millionaires, literally overnight. It's crazy, but and if you go to Albania, you go to the capital, which is where we went on a tour, my wife and I. You can see the bullet holes in the town hall, in the building of the town hall, where revolutionaries got rid of the mayor. And when they say they got rid of the mayor, I don't know whether they killed him or whether they just got him out of his office, but yeah, they got rid of the mayor, apparently. So, Mount Pontecrator over there, the highest point of Corfu, the monastery on top. And this part of the island I get a little bit sketchy on. I'm not quite sure of the towns, I think, and the names, but we've gone past Cassiope, Sadari, and we're coming down the back side of the island now, or the east coast of the island. And at one point, Albania is 1,500 meters away. Yeah, and Albania, along that coast there, that you can see, had pillboxes all along the coast. Yeah, they built a road that went by the coast, and it was full of pillboxes with soldiers in them 24/7, because they didn't want to be invaded by the Greeks. People from Corfu, as if they would. They had no interest. This road down here that you can see, when I lived in Corfu, this road had the only roundabout on the whole island. It's probably underneath me somewhere, but it was the only place in the whole island of Corfu that had a roundabout. I mean, there's nothing like our roundabouts here in the UK, and they used it. They didn't have a problem with it, but it was the only one. And the only traffic lights on the island are in Corfu town, and they get ignored generally. But the only traffic lights on the whole island are in Corfu town. But like I said, a more beautiful place you could have wished to go to. If you ever get a chance, fly here. Anyway, so this is all about XPME map enhancement. There are no questions on the YouTube, so nobody's watching. Nobody's gotten up yet. They're all laying in bed. Mind you, it is 11:05. Few people been on TikTok. I'm just looking at some of the names now, and I've done something here, and I can't get rid of that. Oh yeah, I can. There we go. So, Yasia Eunice, Silver King, XD, Ion Radu. Oops. The Lord Chive back, Resitat PM2, Sean P, Bernie, loads of people. But it seems to have stopped now. Silver King was the last one to join some while ago. Probably didn't stay very long, because you find out what happens on TikTok, people just can't flash through. And it's not about TikTok. It's about Flight Simulator. Now, I'm just wondering whether I should go somewhere else and let's try and see what we can see. The weather is pretty bad in the UK. I'll tell you what. Let's try. We'll change location. Let's try. Here we go. We'll go to Parma in Tinghi. Get on a runway, please. That'll do. We'll go to Parma in southern Spain, just off the coast of southern Spain, and have a look at what it looks like there, okay? For those of you here on TikTok, I'm in my study at home. Good morning, welcome, nice to see you. I could talk about something for the TikTokers shortly. I'll do that, in fact, in a little while. ND joined. Hi, ND. And yeah, when I finish this, I'll come back to TikTok, I think, and I'll give you a chat. All right. So I'm going to log you off, but I will be back. All right. How do I get out of this? Stop my live feed. Ooh. No, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Do that. There we go. Bye. What were the comments? Can we see the comments? Oh, right. Here we go. Let's get back here. I shouldn't do that, really. I should do that and do I need pizza? No, I don't need pizza heat. Not out here. Put that in. And why are we going all over the place now? Oh, what's going on here? What a weird view that is. Yeah, so I can see what's happening. Right. So we moved to Spain, and for some reason, yeah, it's very washed out, isn't it? Very washed out indeed. So let's get a bit of altitude. Yeah. So what has happened here? I'll tell you what's happened here exactly. Is that the scenery is not loaded incorrectly from Bing. What has happened? It's just not loaded in correctly. See if we can reload the scenery. This will be interesting. See if this works. It's getting very, very hot. Also, somebody commented on one of my shorts. I did a short about this book, Mike Ray's book. No, it's not reloaded in. I'd have to restart that. Let's get out of here. I'll tell you where we'll go. Yeah. Boom, laka, laka, laka. Yeah, so I did a short about this book, and somebody said, "Oh, you talk about the 737-800, and the book is for the 300, 400, and 500." Correct. They were correct. It is for the 300, 400, 500. But the things I did talk about on my shorts that are in this book are completely relevant to the 800. Now, if you want to get really picky, I've also got this one, which is the Mike Ray 700 series, right? And this is about flying the 757 and the 767, I think, if I'm not wrong. Let me just check at the front. It's been a while since I've opened this. Yes, this is about the 767 and the 757. Let me go a little bit further into it. And these books are that old these books are that old, because I've had them that long, is that it talks about FSX. Wait, doesn't it? It talks about MSFX or MSFS 2004. You know, this book is written for that in a sense, but this even though it's written around that, it's written about the 737s, right? It's written about the 737 and the new glass cockpit. So it's aircraft specific, not just flight sim specific. Now, in his latest editions, right, he takes into account X-plane as well. So you know, like for example, there that can I do that level 1 takeoff? Yeah. So that's a takeoff. Now that takeoff is the same for any aircraft. The difference being is that some of the key presses that he talks about in this is relevant to Microsoft Flight Simulator way back in the day. I still use these books. I still refer to these books for specific things in relation to the aircraft, not the simulator that I'm using. Because a Boeing aircraft in X-plane should be the same as a Boeing aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator in terms of systems and stuff like that. If it isn't, then that's the fault of the developer, surely not our fault. Oh, helps if I give it a little bit of fuel, a little bit of gas. There we go. Turn the avionics on, and we're good to go. Right, now I've loaded up at Cardiff. I quickly loaded up at Cardiff from Leper, even though the weather here is a bit gloomy. I think we might just be in VFR conditions, we'll see. I think we might just about be in VFR conditions. Get up to 65 knots or thereabouts, and then we'll be able to take off and down a bit of that. Okay, 65. We're airborne. Alright. Woo! Throttle back to 2000. Flaps up. Okay. We're still on. We were talking about X-plane map enhancement, and the reason why I've come to Cardiff now, is to show you something. This, I'm flying over Orbex True Earth, Great Britain. Okay, so this is Orbex True Earth, Great Britain. There's a bit of a difference in the way that it appears. And what I'm going to do, because it's such a grey and dull day here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go take that off, go to VFR, and we'll go VFR few clouds. Ooh. Just to get a better view, okay? Right in the middle of it. Now we need to get up to 2,000 feet, I think. Just so I've got a margin for error. I don't want to do anything silly like crash. There we go. Right. I'm gonna go even for clear weather, because there we go, clear. It'll be nice and sunny. Clear weather, and you can see now the difference. Now this is Orbex. Orbex is way the gold standard if you're buying scenery. If you're going to buy photo scenery, Orbex is the gold standard, without a doubt. It's the best in the world, and looks absolutely incredible. Now I've also got X-World from Sim Heaven, and I've also got the buildings as well. I can't remember what it's called. Probably the X-World buildings or X-World scenery from Sim Heaven. So I've got Sim Heaven vegetation, I've got Sim Heaven buildings, which really fills out any simulator. But here you see the difference with Orbex and XPME. Now Orbex, when they do their photo scenery, they colorize it, so it's color matched right across, so you don't get any odd squares missing, you don't find any odd tiles that are a different color from another area. They all look the same. Here we are, we're flying towards Wenbo television mast. If you know the UK, if you know Cardiff at all, this is that stick that's pointing up there, that is Wenbo television mast. And off to the right there, I'm going to use my mouse to help you. Just here, right above my mouse, is the Principality Stadium, the Millennium Stadium, classed as one of the best stadiums in the world. It's in the city centre and has a capacity of 77,000 spectators. It is truly one of the best stadiums in the world. Unfortunately, what we don't have in this scenery is we don't have St Hilary television mast. The St Hilary television mast is off in the distance. They're about 10 miles away from Wenbo, along that road there, you can see. Okay, so I'm just going to go around here, and as we get to Wenbo television mast, you'll see beneath my undercarriage a very large roundabout. That is Culverhouse Cross roundabout, and we have a couple of superstores there. There's Marks and Spencer's and very big Tesco's on one side of the roundabout, and then on the other side of the roundabout we've got PC World and all sorts. There's a big hotel down there called the Copthorne Hotel that faced some controversy in the last few years, but we won't talk about that. We're just flying over the Copthorne Hotel, and just down here a little bit is my house. And the level of detail is truly good. Now you'll see some of the trees over here, right, where my mouse is, they look a bit brown. And that's because it's autumn and the leaves are falling off the trees, which is what happens in Flight Simulator. Under my right wing there is Cardiff Football Stadium, Cardiff Football Ground, and just above my left wing, I'm going to reduce power slightly, is the Millennium Stadium, or what is known now as the Principality. Euro 28 with football fans. The opening game of the tournament will be taking place there at the Principality Stadium, and that is going to be some spectacle. It really is. It's going to be truly tremendous. Okay, so we've got three people watching. Say hello. Just say good morning or something, and let me know if you can hear me. I'm pretty sure you can hear me. I've no need to figure that out. My microphone's on, so I know you can. I'll give you a thumbs up. There you go. I need to move that stuff. It's off center. There we go. So, now, whilst I've been flying, one of the things that I have not addressed is my graphics card. Just flying over the city of Cardiff now. And one of the things that I haven't addressed is my graphics card and what graphics card I have. I am running an MSI GeForce RTX 4080. So it's an NVIDIA based card. There is a lot of discussion these days between NVIDIA and AMD, which is best. Hi there, Jerky Jacko, good morning. Oh, the stadium has got its roof closed. That's unusual, because I've actually landed the helicopter in there. So maybe there's an animation with the stadium that I wasn't aware of. But I have landed the helicopter through there on the pitch of the Millennium Stadium. The scenery around here is going to be changing quite soon, actually, because there's all new developments going on. It's a 50-storey apartment building going up. There's a couple of buildings missing already, I can see, that should be represented. around Cardiff, but they're not. So I'm pretty sure that they will figure into the photo scenery at one point or another when OpenStreetMap sorts themselves out. Anyway, FPV Steve, good morning. Nice to see you. Hope everything's okay with you guys. Yeah, so 2028 Euros. The opening match is going to be held there. It'll be fantastic. It's going to be a real spectacle, that's for sure. Just flown over the castle and heading out towards the east of the city. There's the docks below us, Cardiff Bay. Cardiff Bay is brilliant. Now you go down there on any day of the week. Actually, I was going to say on a Sunday, but go down there any day of the week and the vibe is just absolutely brilliant. Cafes, and restaurants, and bars, people just walking around. In fact, what you find is people will walk across the barrage, which is that strip there where my mouse is. So you walk across the barrage to Penarth, have a nice cup of coffee or ice cream in Penarth, and then walk back to Cardiff Bay and pick up your car and go home. My wife and I do that on a regular basis. Take our dog across there. So we're heading out the east of the city. We're going down towards the place. I mean, this is all Cardiff here to the left. This is all Cardiff. See that roundabout below me? That's a nightmare, that roundabout, believe me. But we're heading towards now. If I just come up here, we're heading towards a place where I keep my caravan. Because we have a touring caravan, but unfortunately we can't keep it at home because we haven't got a driveway. So we put it down here to this place. They charge me £90 for 3 months storage, which is not that bad, I'll admit. Not bad at all. We're still within the boundaries of Cardiff. A big city which is growing all the time. They're building houses everywhere, it would appear, in Cardiff. But we are getting close to the boundary. So just below me now, we've just gone past that wind turbine, but just here on the left of my wing is our caravan park where we put our caravans securely. And the number of caravans that are there and motorhomes, there is a few £1 million worth of stuff there, believe me. It's unbelievable. And some of them, I mean, some of the motorhomes down there, whew, they are immense, incredible. But we carry on flying down here. We're going down the foreshore towards Newport, and there's Newport ahead of us. The Seven Bridges are over here, over there. There you are. That's the second Severn crossing. Don't know what happened to the first one. It's not being shown. Oh no, that is the first one. No, sorry, that's the new one, and the old one is just up there. That's the new one, and that's the old one up there. Right. I think we'll head towards those. What do you reckon? And we've got quite a few people watching now. Just, say hello. Make sure you can hear me okay. If you've got any questions, then fire away. No problem at all. We're in the Cessna 172. We're just having a little fly around South Wales. We're heading towards Newport, which is just ahead of us. So we've crossed the boundary between Cardiff and Newport. Just about. This is it. This is the boundary here. This is the boundary. This is not Wembley. This is Marshfields. It's a place called Marshfields. Very rich. Houses here are extremely expensive, just in that little strip there. And then that is the boundary between Cardiff and Newport. So once you get here, onto what they call the Newport levels down here, this is all Newport now. And Newport's a city. I don't know why it was granted city status. I mean, but it was. You see the train there going towards Newport, and then eventually, I don't know where it'll go. Might go through the Severn Tunnel towards Bristol. Who knows? Like I said, I don't know why Newport was granted city status, but it was by the Queen. Right, so Jerky Jacko. Jerky Jacko, it says X-Plane and P3D are his sims of choice. I never flew P3D, couldn't really see the point of it. You know, I mean, I left Flight Sim, I left FSX, and I went to X-Plane 10. How long do you think it will be until X-Plane brings a next gen scenery update? Well, when you say next gen, what do you mean? Because X-Plane are not really bothered with photo scenery. Austin Meyer, and I've spoken to him in the past, all he's really concerned about is the flight model, the aircraft, fidelity and flight model, and things such as ground contact and drag and all that. He's not really bothered about photo scenery, and has always said he's quite happy for third-party developers to maintain the photo scenery, and that's what's happened over the years with Orbex and others, and now X-Plane Map Enhancement. What he does do, what he is concerned about, is the art assets that are available in X-Plane. So he's always got his people working on the art assets. So looking at default airports, I mean, sometimes the default airports in X-Plane are way better than some developer airports. Not the payware ones. The payware airports are absolutely superb, but the default airports, some of the default airports are absolutely staggering. I read somewhere they were redoing the train and updating the line pass. Yes, without a doubt, they probably will be. That's without a doubt they will be doing that. They've always done that. Now, FSX and P3D, they used to use very old data, topographical data, very old indeed, and you would see this on BatSim, where you would have somebody in X-Plane and their aircraft would be on the ground, and somebody who's in a flight simulator at the same airport would be 20 feet above them in midair, stationary, or even sunk into the ground, because they were using very old data. X-Plane has always used the most recent and available data possible for land and topography. And then you get very clever people like AL Pilot X, who used to do terrain meshes. And he was so good that Laminar employed him. And there was another guy, I think Tony Robluski. I think it was Robluski. He was absolutely incredible. He was so clever. And I believe he was employed by Laminar to do a lot of work. So yeah, without a doubt. When it's coming, I don't know. Probably in the next major update, because we've only just gone to public, full public release candidate with 12.3. So they're always improving. FPV Steve, my take is that if it looks plausible, I'm happy. If they can improve the autogen, the roads, rivers and coastlines and add building shadows, it will be a huge improvement anyway. Well, you can. You can have building shadows, but you need a powerful PC and graphics card to do that. You just turn 3D shadows on, and you will get that. Just go to my settings. Just go to settings a moment. Let's see. Shadow quality. If you put, it used to be three. They used to have a separate thing for it. So if you put shadow quality to maximum, then you will get that. You'll get buildings casting shadows, you'll get trees casting shadows, you get shadows under the aircraft on the ground and things like that. It is quite intensive. Let's see what it's saying. Oh, hang on. Keep still. Increasing this slider will increase the quality and distance of shadow rendering. It doesn't say whether it's a hit on your card or not. Yeah, I mean, there's the 4K shadow trick as well. I tried that. I didn't think it made, for me, it didn't make that much difference, really. I'd have to go back and look at who did that. I think Q8 Pilot did a thing about that, didn't he? The only time I want shadows to be really improved is in the cockpit. But sometimes you get some shadows and they've got a jagged edge on them. The JAR design aircraft, you would see that really badly. It's not something I notice though anymore. 3D vegetation, that will give you a hit. I have it turned on. I don't know why, because I don't go walking through the forests. It is neat sometimes when you're at an airport and you can see the trees swaying and the leaves fluttering on the trees, but it's not really needed, is it? It's not really needed. Draw boats and balloons, I don't have that on. Parked aircraft, I don't have that on because generally I fly on VATSIM. I'm not on VATSIM this morning, obviously, but yeah. You edit it in the CFG, in the config file. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did try it. I can't remember. I'll be honest, Jerky Jacko. But going back to what FPD Steve says is that if it looks plausible, I'm happy. Now, when I first started with X-Plane 10, and X-Plane 10 was when Austin first started talking about his plausible world, right? And basically what he was saying then was that he didn't want, he knew that X-Plane didn't look like the real world, but it was a plausible world, that it could possibly look. And even then in X-Plane 10, I was more than happy with the way it looked. Believe me, I thought it looked great for what it was at that time. You know, we've got to think about things in the context of time. And for what it was at that time, I thought it looked great. Now, I've done this flight in the real world when Bob Sidwick was alive. Bob and I used to go flying quite a lot in his plane, and he would give me, he'd give me control on many occasions. I don't know if any of you know Bob Sidwick or who he was, but he was revolutionary in the flight simulator world. Absolutely a brilliant guy. Died way too young, passed away way too young. He and I used to go flying. I've done this flight. I've flown this very route that I'm flying now up here from Cardiff to Newport to the bridges and then over to Kemble. And this is exactly what it looked like. In every sense. In the day that the last flight that we took was, I think it was late autumn, so about this time, and the weather was just like this. It was a clear day, it was a beautiful day, and this is exactly what it looked like. We were flying in he had a PA-28 aircraft, and it was beautiful. It was just like this. You know, we came up to the bridges, and we flew between the bridges, across over the Severn, and it was just X-Plane with True Earth and making your own ortho is the best. I will disagree with making your own ortho, right? True Earth, Orbex True Earth is absolutely superb. No two ways about it. Making your own ortho, like ortho for XP, is fantastic, but it's so time consuming and it takes up too much space. X-Plane map enhancement is the way to go. Exactly. And at night time, even more so, or when you see the police flitting about, I just look down and I see a car now on the motorway there, Although, what I will say, and I'm going to pause for this, what I will say, and I don't know whether any of you guys remember, certainly in X-Plane 10, I'm not, I can't remember whether it was in X-Plane 11, but in X-Plane 10, you had a slider in the graphics control where you could control the amount of traffic that you saw on the roads, right? I think they took it out in X-Plane 11. And the traffic was just generating, self-generating. But in X-Plane 10, there was a slider, and you could control the amount of traffic you had on the road, and it would build up over time. So if you set it, I think it was something like rural, urban, city, or something like that. I can't remember. It was a long time ago now. And you would turn the slider on, and the traffic would build up over time to the optimum amount. It was fantastic. You had a hit. It was a graphical hit. That isn't a factor anymore, and probably that's why they took it out. But it was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. That was brilliant. I wish they'd bring something like that back. Let's see. Can we change the time? We can. I think I'm stuck on a time here, so we turned that off. There we go. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, so there's cars there. Just during the day, the headlights are off, which they shouldn't be. Yeah. I mean, the lighting, it's just superb, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Now that, you know, I haven't flown at this time of the day, I'll admit, because of the special VFR, but, you know, I've flown at that time of the day, coming up towards over an hour. We need to get across the 7 hour, don't we? In between the bridges. I watched a video, there's a video on YouTube of how they built the second Severn crossing. Now, considering when it was built, 1999, 2000, something like that, maybe a little bit later. Considering when it was built, the technology that was used to build it and to place all those concrete pylons was absolutely amazing. They had barges, right? They had barges which had 4 propellers on one on each corner, and they were held in position in the water using GPS satellite technology at the time, which was really in its infancy. You know, it wasn't, you know, as good as it is now, I don't think. It was in its infancy, but it was fantastic. And of course, they could only work at certain times of the day because of the tide. It was incredible. If you could find that program and watch it, it's absolutely superb. There's a police car down there. There he is. Fabulous. So yeah, Bob and I, we flew over here, and we headed off to Kemble, because that's where he used to keep his aircraft. Bob lived in Yate, just north of Bristol, and he kept his plane at Kemble. I know that I'm going to have difficulty finding it here, because I'm not doing any navigation. This is all line of sight. I'd probably have a hard time finding Kemble, just visually, because I'm not navigating towards it, so it's all dead reckoning, as they say. So we're north of Bristol. Could I possibly find Filton? Yeah, there's Filton Airport there, and that's a shame as well, because it's mostly gone now. It's being built over, houses are being built over it and everything. It's really sad. Really, really sad. I'm going to have to go. I've got to take my dog out for a walk, because my wife and I are going out this afternoon. We're going Going to the cinema. Having a movie date. I'm going to have to go, guys. I didn't realise the time. For those of you who just had a quick chat with me, FPD Steve and Jerky Jacko, cheers, mates. Have a good afternoon. I hope to see you all again soon, very soon in the near future. Keep flying. Doesn't matter what you fly, as long as you're happy. Could be FSX, FS9, 2020, 2024, X-Plane, whatever. Whatever you fly, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Keep away from the toxic forums. Alright? Have a good day. We'll see you soon. Cheerio.